that I will premise most of my questions on the meaningful devolution of powers and functions, no, with emphasis on the word meaningful. From the NGAs to the LGUs, in the advent of the Mandanas ruling and the subsequent issuances, notably E0138, released last June 2021. Having said that, Mr. President, citizen participation cannot be overemphasized, in the crafting or at least in the planning and setting of the priorities for the development projects at the local level. So my first question is, can we be informed of the extent of CSO, civil society organization membership in the local development councils? Do you have data on this? I believe this is a requirement, no? 5,000. No, that's the 4,000. Less than one. I'll give you the reference, Mr. Chairman. Baseline report, CSO accreditation and membership in local government councils and special bodies. DILG nag-release nito, Mr. Chairman. So I just want to find out ano yung extent ng participation ng mga CSOs.
They have 15,685 CSO members, according to the DILG, Your Honor.
15,000.
And they've accredited 31,000 as of an August 2020 report, Your Honor.
So that's how they are represented in the local development councils, Mr. President?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what is the distribution of the membership of CSOs by region?
So they will give you they don't have the figure right now. This is the total, Your Honor. So they will disaggregate the data. Yeah, it comprises all levels. So province,
Yeah.
City, municipality, barangay, Your Honor.
I asked that question because I want to find out which regions are lagging behind and which regions are ahead of the others.
They will submit to you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
They don't have the data now.
Thank you. Kindly submit. Now, relatedly, during the 2020 budget deliberations, I asked this question. Yung Regional Development Council endorsed projects carried in the National Expenditure Program. Is it still at 25%?
For 2022, it's 42.9%.
42.9.
Yeah.
So there's a vast improvement because in preparation for the implementation, at least the phased implementation of the Mandanas ruling or E0138. So that should be a good figure, Mr. President, 42+%.
It's much improved, Your Honor.
Yeah, much improved.
There are some agencies who have very high RDC endorsed. DNR is at 75%. DTI is at 76%. DSWD is at 78%. CHED is at 77%. DSWD at 78%. DILG at 78%. So these are the top matchers in terms of RDC endorsed projects, Your Honor.
And I assume that this will improve further because I heard that Secretary Anyo himself urged the governors and the mayors, pati mga punong barangays, to formulate their capacity development agenda, CapDev, and the devolution transition plans.
Baka sa 2023, 100% na po yan pag si President Lacson yung
So,
anyway, ng budget, Your Honor.
So how many LGUs have submitted their capacity development agenda?
Sa barangays, 30,600. So for the municipalities, November 12 po yung deadline. So as of now, how many have submitted? Yeah. 45 pa lang po yung nagsasubmit.
So, Iligano po ko, how many municipalities do we have right now?
about 1,400 plus. Your Honor.
1,491 yung last count ko. So ilan na ngayon? What's the latest data? How many municipalities do we have?
1488 according to... Ang alam ko, 1491.
Dati nang 1491 yan eh.
Oh, alam ko 1491.
Yes.
Opo.
So is it still
1488 is the figure. So
1488? That's the exact figure.
some became cities according to...
Okay.
Opo.
Yeah, understood.
Yung,
How many
yung
barangays?
cities naman ho, December 12 pa ho ang deadline. Kaya hindi pa ko nagsasubmit. So
So how many barangays do we have?
42,046.
42,046.
Opo.
Anong level yung nagsasabit ng capacity development agenda? Lahat?
And the municipality gives it to the province, Your Honor, and the barangays give it to the municipality or city, Your
So all
Honor.
levels.
Opo, lahat ng level ho.
They're required to submit their CapDev.
Wala na po sa barangay, I'm sorry, I stand corrected.
Down to the municipal level. lang.
Opo. Okay, hindi na daw required yun.
Thank you. And how many? 45 pa lang submit?
Sa municipality, 45. 45 pa lang ho sa
45
municipality.
out of 1,488.
Opo.
Medyo malayo pa yung lalakbayin.
Oo nga. So, tomorrow pa daw with deadline. So, medyo
Tomorrow yung deadline.
photo finish ho. Photo
yeah.
finish.
So it's a matter of reportorial requirement lang ito.
Opo.
But there should be more, no? Not just 45.
They're quite confident there will be more, Your Honor.
Will this effectively address the issue on capacity or the absorptive capacity of LGUs? Kasama yan.
After pa yun. After they submit these CapDev plans, then the national government will formulate their own plans, Your Honor, based on what is submitted to them and how to capacitate further the LGUs.
Well, how do you measure absorptive capacity? Do you conduct studies on how to measure absorptive capacity of LGUs?
One is the ability to disperse the 20% development fund, Your Honor, per LGU, as well as the calamity fund, Your Honor. So, dun tinitingnan yung efficiency. That's one metric, Your Honor.
Yeah. So how do you do that? How do you increase the absorptive capacity? Through capacity building? Anong klaseng capacity building programs do you have?
They need to further capacitate the development planning office of the local government unit, because especially with regard to procurement, because some make their plans, but mid-year they have to change them or amend them, Your Honor, is what the DILG is saying.
So how active is the participation of the LGAs, yung Local Government Academy in this regard? Di ba meron kayong LGA? Nagpa-function ba yan? Fully functional? So that could be a good,
They're also
ano,
conducting the capacity development according to the
yung
Secretary.
capacity building.
They harmonize the best practice.
Other courses offered? Ano ba yan? How does that function ba, yung LGA? May mga courses offered or just seminars and the like? No, I'm not asking you. We have to suspend the rules before you answer my question. Sige, I yield to the acting majority leader.
Yeah. The local government academy shall oversee the conduct of capacity development interventions for LGUs and shall develop the appropriate mechanism to ensure efficient, effective, and cost-effective utilization of national government resources. The local government academy shall also lead in the harmonization of all capacity development interventions by the DBM, NEDA, TOF, other national government agencies, Development Academy of the Philippines, and third-party service providers for the LGUs, as well as optimize the potential of the local governance, national, and regional resource centers as the convergence platform for capacity development stakeholders, Your Honor.
So there are no formal courses offered by the local government academy?
Mr. President.
Wala.
Mr. President.
Yes, I yield to Senator Tolentino.
Mr. President, with the permission of Senator Lacson, perhaps with the permission of Senator Lacson, if I may be allowed to rephrase the question of Senator Lacson probably is pregnant with other sub-questions that probably can be mutated in this way. Was there a program devised by the local government academy foreseeing that the Mandanas ruling will be implemented 2022? Because from my experience, Mr. President, most of the LGA courses are being given after the elections for newly elected local government officials. But the timely question and relevant question of Senator Lacson, that was there a course offered to educate the local officials as to the effects of the Mandanas ruling? Thank you, Mr. President. May we seek a reply?
Yes, they do assist. They have transition plans according to the DILG.
But now, Mr. President, if I may add as a follow-up, I raised previously during the budget deliberations of the DBM that most mayors and governors were confused because there is the PS cap requirement of 45% for some LGUs, and if they download several of the functions, including the funding requirements, this would exceed the current PS requirements, and it was answered by the good sponsor that while it will really exceed, that there is a need to insert a provision in GAA 2022, Mr. President. So ito po yung nagdulot ng kaguluhan ng kaunti dun sa mga local officials dahil may batas po tayo ngayon, Republic Act 11146, tapos sa Mandanas ruling, binigyan ng maraming functions, mag-i-exceed yung PS requirements. So dapat po yun, doon na-train yung ating mga local government officials. Sangayon po sa line of questioning ni Senator Lacson.
Yes, I confirm that, Mr. President. We discussed that during the DBM budget discussions, and that point was raised by Senator Tolentino, and he said the DBM was overeager, and they said they will hold off until the GAA is enacted. They were just trying to prepare the LGUs. But be that as it may, there is no, the DBM also said that there is no compulsion on the part of the national government and local government, meaning the local government is not obliged to hire the national government employees. I just want to repeat that, Mr. President. And perhaps on the part of the DILG, after they and or the DBM should issue a circular on this matter, setting forth the legal premises and the legal situation that there is indeed, assuming we pass this budget on time, there is a need to set forth that like a legal comfort letter for practicing lawyers, meaning sometimes our clients look for that the mayors are the clients of the DILG. They will be looking for that legal comfort letter, which will provide them with legal cover for their actions to ensure that they do not violate any laws like the local government code, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Kasi natatakot nga po yung ibang mga mayors, baka ma-ombudsman sila. Eh ngayon, magkakampanyahan pa, makakasuhan pa sila. I yield the floor back to Senator Lacson. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes,
Thank
I asked
you.
that question, Mr. President, because and in this regard, I'd like to share my own experience. When I was the presidential assistant for rehabilitation and recovery do sa Yolanda Corridor, USAID provided 150,000 pesos per scholar, and we managed to enroll them in the Development Academy of the Philippines, and they graduated 161 of them from the 171 cities and municipalities devastated by Yolanda. And now they're performing very well in their own localities, making use of their masteral degrees at the DAP. Maybe 1,488 municipalities can benefit from that, because if the LGA has no capability nor wherewithal to provide masteral courses in this regard, maybe we can sign a memorandum of agreement with DAP, so we can harness or we can develop the skills of our community planners to enroll, get their degrees, and go back to their municipalities under a contract to serve for a certain number of years. That's what we did in the Yolanda Corridor, and now they're back. They continue to perform their duties there. So just a food for thought, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, if that can be done. Kasi hindi naman masyado malaki siguro kung
I think it's a
1,000.
good idea. It's a good idea. It will be a worthwhile investment, Your Honor.
Yes, that's a worthwhile
It will
investment.
pay
actually.
dividends down the road in improved efficiency, in creating all the in planning, etc. It will redound to the benefit of the LGUs and their stakeholders and the constituents, Your Honor.
Kasi yung full devolution will be paper compliant kung hindi naman capacitated yung mga local development councils natin, or at least the local government units, in really participating in the planning and setting of priorities do sa kanilang mga development projects in their localities. So hindi ma-implement ito pagka wala naman marunong maggawa ng development plan.
Yes, Your Honor, definitely.
Now, part of the full devolution reform of the government under EO 138 is the preparation of the devolution transition plans by the NGAs concerned. Ang sabi sa EO 138, kasi June 1, 2021, 120 days, kailangan meron na. And that would be last October 1, 2021. So I remember during the committee hearing, I requested for copies and briefers of the DTPs, of the national government agencies. Meron na ba ito?
Ito yung mga nag-submit. Your Honor, there are a number of agencies. There are 12 agencies who have submitted their NGA DTP. There are 5 who have submitted an initial draft or preliminary draft. There are 4 who have no submissions. Would you want me to read all of them in each category, Your Honor?
A submission will be...
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll do that.
We're done with the growth equity fund. Yung sa contact tracing, we noticed that there's no provision for the hiring of contact tracers under the proposed budget of the DILG in 2022 sa NEP.
Wala po sa NEP. We
Why is it?
inserted 1 billion.
Bakit wala kayong budget for contact tracing?
It's similar, I think, to you asked for it. But you present in your they asked for it in their budget, Your Honor, apparently. But the DBM did not include it in their approved budget. So they came to Congress to ask for a budget, and we were able to put 1 billion in the Senate committee report, Your Honor.
So there's 1 billion.
Yes, Your Honor.
Proposed appropriation. Yung sa NTF-LCAC, this is the favorite topic of the minority leader. He's still around. I would just like to mention the COA report in this regard.
Yes, Your
Yung
Honor.
2020 COA audit report, sinasabi rito, there's inadequate planning and non-monitoring of utilization of NTF-LCAC funds, resulting in misaligned procurements against the annual procurement plan or APP. Splitting of government contracts amounting to 187,200, 187, bakit million ito? 187 million. Para maabot yung posting ng requirements in the PhilJeps. So, as well as unliquidated fund transfers to field offices totaling 2.922 million pesos. So, have you resolved this?
This is the 2.9 million fund transfer, Your Honor.
Yes.
It was not a fund transfer, but a downloading of funds to DILG Region 12 for the implementation of DILG programs in the barangays in support of EO number 70. Moreover, the department's utilization of funds for LCAC-related activities is authorized under the GAA of 2020. The fund transfer was for the DILG's retooled community support program at the barangay level, which is their significant contribution to the objectives of EO 70, signed by President Duterte. Mr. President. And
So, this has been resolved, with COA. Okay na ito. So, okay.
yes, the
I received
Secretary
some-
think it's been resolved, Your Honor.
I received some requirements, requests actually from the PNP in anticipation of our period of amendments.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'd like to ask some clarificatory questions in this regard. Sinasabi rito, number one,
Saan yung mga dagdag natin? Anong dinagdag? Irene, anong dinagdag natin?
yung PNP1 network, this is a good project. Sinasabi rito, to establish a single hub, interconnectivity roadmap of the PNP which connects and aims to provide internet access from PNP National NHQ down to the station level. Magandang project. Ang tanong ko, which broadband network are you using? Because this is 300 million pesos as requested. Pero baka yung i-anchor nyo, wala namang national broadband. Because yung DICT is not receiving support from the national government in terms of connecting yung kanilang connectivity, yung broadband. Baka maging white elephant. Baka hindi magamit itong 300 million. Because I intend to pursue this with the permission, of course, of the chairman.
Yes, sir. Yes.
But if it cannot be utilized because of the lack of national broadband network, so paano gagamitin ito? But this is a very good project because interoperability from the national headquarters down to the stations, di ba?
It is already existing according to General LSR in the regions, and they just want to extend it to the municipalities, Your Honor.
Stations. How does it work? Kasi kung wala namang internet speed available, how will it work? How will it function? So ang coverage nito is region to region. Between RDs, they can communicate directly
Up to the police station.
down to the police station. From the regions, regional headquarters to stations. Ang alam ko, ang mga spot report nyo, text eh. Is that it?
From where? From where? To the police. It goes from the national to the regional police stations, is what I understand from what General Elazar said.
So there's interoperability, technical, between the regional headquarters all the way down to the police stations, provincial headquarters.
So Krame to the regional police stations. Pero existing yung. So you're saying in all the regions, yung regional police center nyo, ayos yung internet, kaya nakukuha niya yung data from the Krame, from Krame. Currently, it's from Krame, Your Honor. Nagpapadala sila. They have the network with the various regions, the regional police headquarters or stations. And their goal is to reach the police stations in the various municipalities, Your Honor.
So right now, it's headquarters, national headquarters in Camp Crame, down to regional,
To
the
regions,
regional
to the
headquarters.
regions. Yes, Your Honor.
So hindi pa ito bumababa sa provincial headquarters. Hanggang regional lang. And you want to expand it.
Hindi pa po umabot.
So you need 300 million pesos to expand it further, all the way down to the stations.
Yes, Your Honor.
So how efficient is this working right now? Kasi kung nagpe-fail naman yung internet service, how do you? Di ba yung laging problema natin, maski dito sa Senate, nawawalan kami ng ano eh. How does it function? Intermittent.
Servers. Kamusta yung service? Walang stoppages. They say it's operating quite well. There are no stoppages, Your Honor.
At the proper time, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I will be
Yes, Your
careful.
Honor, Mr. President.
Now, they need 100 million pesos for the operations and intelligence capabilities of the PNP anti-kidnapping group. 100 million. So, since the AKG, di ba, yung PNP AKG was created, how many KFR victims have you rescued? Gusto ko lang makita yung accomplishments before I pursue the to propose this amendment later. Safely, hindi yung patay.
Hindi bangkay, oh. Hindi. Ilang rescue, nakita for ransom victim. Sa babae. Yung babae laging marunong sa data.
Ano lang, rough figure.
Roughly lang, ho.
Hindi naman kailangan
100, 1,000, 50.
Oh, over 100, over 1,000.
They're checking with the AKG director, Your Honor.
Yeah. Tsaka bakit 100 million pesos more? Ano ba yung pondo ngayon ng AKG as we speak?
They have 50 million for 2022, Your Honor.
For 2022. And you're requesting for 100 million more.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ato, mga equipment kasama? For 2022.
At 21 pala yun yung meron, Your Honor.
At 2021 yung 58. So you want to raise it to 100 million for 2022. At marami bang kidnapping ngayon?
Kasama na daw yung mga equipment doon.
Kasama na equipment.
President.
Okay. I'm also curious, ilan yung napatay nyo?
Are you asking about kidnappers or victims, Your Honor?
Kidnappers. How many kiyas and how many arrested?
Fatima, can you listen? Seven kidnappers killed. Seven kidnappers killed, Your Honor.
Arrested,
194 arrested, Your Honor.
194. Convictions. Ilang percent ang conviction rate nyo?
The trials are ongoing. There are no figures for any convictions, Your Honor.
Okay, moving on para hindi tayo gabihin. Unused. 2020 total unused appropriations 5.66 billion, unreleased 3.58, unobligated 2.07. Anong reason behind these figures? Bakit hindi nagamit? 5.66 billion in 2020. BASF ito.
Can we suspend session for a few minutes, Your Honor?
Session suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President. In response to the question of Senator Ping Lacson for the unused appropriations, this is for fiscal year 2020. According to the PNP, they had an unobligated allotment for MOE amounting to 1.2 billion pesos kasi na FLR daw ho to. And the unobligated allotment for capital outlays amounting to 664.8 million for fiscal year 2020 na FLR din daw ho to. So it's considered unobligated for fiscal year 2020, but because it was continuing continuing appropriations, eventually nagastos din daw nila ito for 2021, Your Honor. Tapos yung unreleased appropriation of 3,589 million, that was not released because these are unfilled positions, Your Honor.
Unfilled positions.
Apo.
I asked the question because every year, and I remember this very vividly, and lagi ako nag-augment ng budget yan eh. So I'm interested in finding out if you are fully utilizing the budget that you are receiving from Congress. So bakit na FLR? Nabiktima mo rin
Baka
pala
kasi
kayo.
congressional insertion ho yun. Kaya, di ba, nung 2020, lahat ng congressional insertions. Actually, also for 2021.
So congressional
2021.
insertion yan?
Bakit siya na FLR? Or because of the sweep kanina? Bakit nga na FLR yung 2020? Yun na yung 1.2 tsaka 600.
Yung unfilled positions, does this include the additional MOE? Because I was also the proponent for this year's GAA for the budget of the PNP for additional MOE because of the projected recruitment of new policemen, di ba?
Nagastos ba? Nagastos ba? Or kasama siya?
How many were you able to recruit? 2021. Ang naka-program, I remember, 10,000 eh. For this year, 1,000 out of the 10,000.
Sagot ka. Iba yung takot na. Okay. 10,000 for 2020, 1,000 for 2021, Your Honor.
So ang unfilled is how many?
Ilan lang field after that? There are 13,000
13,000 unfilled. So what's the real-time strength of the PNP right now? If you have learned how to count, because during my time, we didn't know how to count.
Mr. President, it's 211,549, Your Honor. For uniformed personnel, Your Honor.
2 or 3 more items. Ano itong PNP Project Convergence on Manila Bay Rehabilitation in the amount of 26,982,000 pesos? Meron ba kayo kinalaman sa Manila Bay Rehabilitation? Di ba pang DNR yan? PNP Maritime Group. So patrol ito?
To the Maritime Group, Your Honor.
Okay. Kala ko nagbubuhat din kayo ng dolomite. Now, there's a congressional initiative introduced by the House, 1,500,000,000 pesos, Camp Development Fund. Did you ask for this?
It's a camp development fund, Your Honor.
Did you ask for this?
It was already in the 2020 budget, but it was part of the sweep for Bayanihan, Your Honor. So They're trying to just recover.
Na-realign.
Realign. Opo.
And it was not included in the National Expenditure Program. So you requested the House to realign 1.5 billion. Do you have specifics? Do you have a list of projects? Example lang, random lang. Ano yung mga kasama sa... Kasi I also remember yung AFP, binigyan din ng 1 billion. This was for this year yata. 1 billion, hindi nila nagamit.
Your Honor, there is a construction of a NHQ grandstand at Camp Crame, 46 million. There is the construction of a 3-story academics, 36-room school building in the PNPA, 119 million.
Okay.
48-room academics school building.
That's enough, Mr. Chairman. I
Okay.
understand now.
We'll furnish. Would
At
you like to
least
be furnished?
merong listahan.
Opo.
Itong Global Coalition of Lingkod Bayan, this something that's quite controversial, ano? Advocacy groups and force multipliers. Dito yata nagamit yung NTF-LCAC eh. Where is Rodel? Sermon niya.
Gasos, wala.
Baka ito yung sinasabi kanina ng chairman during the interpellation of Senator Drilon, yung immersion, barangay immersion, meaning campaigning.
Recruiting.
Recruiting for the Lingkod Bayan advocacy support groups and force multipliers.
The question is if they've spent anything on this, Your Honor? Or
Yes, what is this all about?
what is it all about? It's for community organization and mobilization for anti-terrorism, anti-criminality, according to the PNP, Your Honor.
Okay. One last item. Bakit ito, parochial ito, and kami dalawa ni Senate President involved dito, no? Bakit pinatatanggal sa Manila yung mga face mask na pinamimigay namin? Anong mali doon? The Manila Police, members of the Manila Police Department, they're harassing tricycle drivers. They're harassing people wearing yung giveaway face mask. May mali ba doon?
They will check on it. There's no order to do that.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah.
only in Manila, actually.
There is,
So I wonder why.
we'll give the copy to the Chief of the PNP and Secretary Anyo on the news report,
Yes, Your Honor.
both in newspaper and social media.
Pinababaliktad daw para hindi makita yung Lacson Soto.
They will correct that. It's the
Sariling katawan ng tao yun, you know. When you put up streamers in a private property, it's not a violation, di ba? And what more if a private person is wearing the face mask? What's wrong with that? So we just like to find
freedom
out.
of expression.
I know the
President.
directive that come from Camp Crame. No? I think
Yeah, walang directive daw.
walang directive. So bakit sa Manila nga lang?
They are in favor of another candidate. Hometown
No,
candidate.
the police. They're harassing tricycle drivers, pedicab drivers. Pinatatanggal o pinababaliktad.
I won't repeat what the secretary said. Never mind, Mr. President. It's speculation, but there is definitely no order, and they will check on that and make sure it's not repeated, Your Honor.
Well, lastly and finally, Mr. Chairman, the Chief of the Philippine National Police is retiring 2 days from now, di ba? November 13th. So tomorrow is the turnover, but you're retiring day after tomorrow, November 13th. So first, happy birthday, advance happy birthday. Second, whatever you're planning in your life, good luck. That's all, sir.
Whatever you're planning in your life, you let us know.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for the questions and the ideas and the very sharp investigative type questions from the former Chief PNP, who clearly still has a lot of affection for the institution he headed. Matindi po yung malasakit po ni Senator Lacson para sa PNP. And I'd also like to join and greet our Kuyang General Elazar, and also wish him luck, whatever that is. November 13 is his retirement. November 15 is also another date, Mr. President. So I'm just stating that for the record, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
Senator Lacson. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, Majority Leader.
President, allow me to join likewise in extending felicitations to the soon to retire Chief PNP General Guillermo Tolentino Eliazar, who will be celebrating his birthday on the 15th. Good luck, sir.
13th. 13th.
13th. Good luck, sir.
15th is another milestone day at the COMELEC, Your Honor.
All right,
Thank-
happy birthday to our Kuyang Noble, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just one clarificatory question before I end, Mr. President. And perhaps the good sponsor can mirror the mind of the good Secretary of the Environment. In fact, DILG. Sorry. Gutom na po ako, Mr. President.